Luminis 5.2.1. We have no plans of upgrading our next. Actually, let me type my password in. Okay, and that's getting pretty small. I'm going to zoom out here so you can see it a little bit better. So, I've been on the portal for about 12 years, working at 2 different universities. We're going to be going away from Luminis, but we wanted to give it a good send-off, I think, here at 5.2.1. I hired a designer a much better designer than I could ever be. So he really used some CSS3. We moved the tabs, we call them pages, we put them on the left. On the top right, we have our single sign-on. We do a role-based single sign-on list. So we will see, if you're a student, you get your list of applications. Employees have their own list of applications. So that's built into the UI on any page. We also have a role-based quick links so that students can look up the course catalog, that kind of information. So we wanted to make it look nothing like Luminis. We did some random things, like if you know CSS, you can use your entity, and we were doing random colors on the portlets along the way. It is fully responsive. I'll show you the mobile in a moment. Some interesting things here too when we did this. We tried to bring as much photography into it as possible. In the social Lehigh, we have, let's go. Into Lehigh. Watch it not be working. Okay, there we go. So we're using masonry to load this content as well. Humans at Lehigh, if you're familiar with, I think it was Humans in New York that started it, we give a very open perspective of life at Lehigh. When we rolled this out, my designer, he's actually a Lehigh alum who was the originator of it, and our UCPA, or Communications and Public Affairs, was like, this isn't authorized content, we don't want it in the portal, and they didn't know who the owner was, and I was like, well, the owner's my developer. We hired him. And what's interesting about it is our president now wants to do a Humans of Lehigh. So they didn't want it in the portal. We kind of fought them a little bit, and now the next one is going to be with the president in it. So we're trying to make it content that's impactful for the students as well. Let me show you the mobile view. This is tough to do on here. So, with mobile, we have the menu for the pages, so it's right there, and then we decided to collapse everything just so it's easier to see, so you could easily swipe down, and if you want to see any of those items, you can just click on it. So that was the other kind of unique thing that we did with it. And then you have your Connect Lehigh. We expected people aren't going to be jumping to other applications through the mobile, so we stacked that at the bottom, and the quick links at the bottom. So the main thing I wanted to show off was just the UI. We do have other pages. The other thing that's interesting I'll share too is that the portal. I don't know about your universities. It was one of those things that started becoming no one would go to it, or the belief on campus was that no one was using it. And when we did this redesign, it did bring a lot of life back to it. We see analytics where people are coming back to it, and our president just started a new 10-year Path to Prominence campaign. And we have a huge marketing piece that's for the outside audience, but we needed a place internally on campus where we could show building updates, what's happened, just like different things that are happening on campus, faculty that are going to be speaking on it. So there was a lot of discussion. We met with the president's cabinet, and the decision actually was to put this information in the portal because they felt it represented Lehigh visually, and it was a good place to put this internal information. And that was And that was a nice win for us, because we just, before, the portal was something that, like, yeah, we know about it, we never really go to it, we don't look at it. And now we're going to be having a new Path to Prominence page, where we're going to be having updates on the progress of the 10-year campaign. So, that's it.